All right, seventh inning stretch here with you, Variety Sports Network. Logan Stone joining me on a Saturday edition here. So, college football, what? Gets over with. It's baseball time. We're still in the offseason. We're rocking through it. It's been a bit of week. We got a lot to get into. We're going to hit on the Nationals. What are they doing? The Brewers, what's that plan with them both trading aces? And we'll get into it. It's been a little while, but I got to get Logan's reaction on that Beltran and Jones making the MLB Hall of Fame. Seventh inning stretch starts now. All right, Logan Stone, a lot to get into. We probably won't be able to hit it all over the last 2 weeks that we missed here, but appreciate anybody that's tuning in here today. Make sure you get into the comments as well. I want to start with those Washington Nationals because I guess to me, as long as we've been doing the podcast, we kind of get frustrated with teams that just don't, they don't go the full distance. I'm not saying you have to go to the Dodgers distance, but just a little bit more than that. I feel like the Nationals are kind of one of those teams I want to get your thoughts on with it. They obviously had a generational player in Juan Soto. They didn't want to pay him. You could say the same thing with Harper before that. They end up making a pretty good trade, I would say, for the fact that you did give up Soto. You ended up with Gore. You ended up with Abrams. You ended up with Wood.
Yeah.
Now you got one of them traded now, and Gore sounded like they were maybe going to move Abrams, and then who knows what's going to happen with Wood down the line here. But I guess for me, I know they got a lot of good prospects back. I know that's what I've heard. So we'll kind of get into the Rangers side of it too in a second. So before we hit on all these young guys that got back, and it's great, is it just going to be rinse and repeat 5 years from now? And so, I don't know, that's the thing that's frustrating me with the Nationals because they have shown that they would pay Strasburg. They have kind of given out some mini deals along the way too. But I don't know. I just kind of a weird move for me. What do you make of it?
It's a weird trade. You and I were talking about this before.
Yeah.
That the Nationals, they seemed like they were close to the end of their rebuild.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good players. Their offense was really good. They had Luis Garcia Jr., they have CJ Abrams, James Wood, Dylan Cruz, who wasn't spectacular last season, but he's got a lot of potential still. And they did need some pitchers, but Mackenzie Gore was going to be their ace.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of weird to me that, they traded away their big guy for, it was a lot of good prospects. I believe it was like the Rangers 2, 6, 8, 12, and 16.
Yep.
And so it was, they got a hole for him, but it's still kind of weird. Like maybe they're not trying to win as much as we thought they were. And so, yeah, it's a little disappointing because 10 years ago, they were awesome.
Yeah.
And they were proven that they wanted to win. 2012, 2014, 15. And then 19 obviously is the big year, but now it just seems like ever since their World Series win, they haven't really cared.
Do you think he struggled at the end of the year after the All-Star break? Last 50 innings, he went with 6.75 ERA. So that's what was maybe the lasting impression of him as he kind of finished his tenure there, as it turned out to be in Washington. But for the most part, breakout season, right? In terms of the stuff he's shown, but if you look at the record, 5-15, nothing special there. Nationals did lose 96 games, ended up with a 4.17 ERA, but he's the type of guy where I think the Rangers maybe at the end of the day gave up too much prospects with it, but they get a lefty that I think has ace-type potential and just needs to kind of he's been with multiple franchises now in such a short career. Do you still believe in Gore? Or are you I guess that's where do you land on the Gore? Do you think the Nationals this is a horrific mistake, or are they it's worth maybe trying to rebuild here with a guy giving up a guy like him?
I believe in Gore. I think with pitchers, especially starting pitchers, whenever you're on a bad team that has no real defense, that has no real help.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they had a solid team, they did have a lot of holes. So they did lose 96 games, but he had a 374 FIP last year. So that's fielding independent pitching. And then the year before that was a 353. So I think when he's with the right team, if he was with the Dodgers or if he was with a good team, and I think the Rangers are going to be a good team for him, especially whenever they are just coming out the best season for starting rotation, even though they don't have Maddox anymore. I think he's going to really thrive in that position. And I mean, yeah. So I mean, like he's got a 515 win loss. That's rough. I mean, but I mean, can you really blame him for that? So, now I think one thing that is an issue is he has a career 1.40 WHIP.
Yeah, so he walks a lot of guys.
He's got a walking issue, so that may be something to keep an eye out. But I think that might be something that he can fix.
So what's the plan though? Like, I mean, like I know you were on him a little bit last year. You kind of like the fact of him. That, it sounds like Abrams might not be far behind. Wood did have a breakout year. Is Wood the guy they just build around? They hope these young prospects. Is that what they're? I guess I just don't know what the plan is other than we just got young guys now.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because where does Wood fit with that timeline and all that too, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
Wood is 22 years old, so he's still got a couple of years.
Yeah.
But C.J. Abrams, he's 24 years old. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, he got suspended. Was it 24 or 23?
I think it was 23.
Where he got suspended the last 2 months of the season for gambling until like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know if maybe he's a clubhouse cancer or if the.
What do you mean you don't want to play dice? What do you mean?
Yeah, right.
He's like, what's dominoes? Come on, let's go.
Maybe the Nationals are just like, hey, we got to get rid of this guy, and maybe we can get a haul for him too. So,
I mean, they got a lot for Gore in terms of what I've been reading on the Rangers guys. They got some guys that were top 15 picks. They got. I don't know. It's just one of those things to me with the team again where I'm going to use that word rinse and repeat. Where is it? This seems like it's probably going to be headed down the same road in 5 years from now, even if a couple of these prospects turn out to be good. And I guess that's the issue I continue to have with the Nationals. Ever since that kind of the Bryce Harper thing, I feel like they got lucky on. Then they had Juan Soto right in their lap. Yeah, maybe you don't want to pay him $750 million. That is what it is. But then you get these three guys that seem to be a big part of it. And yeah, Gore did have the rough second half last year, but I don't know. I guess maybe they just look at the division, and I don't like teams that do this kind of stuff, and it frustrates me a little bit in the way they went about it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a head scratcher for sure. I'm not sure where I really fall on it because I like that the Rangers went out and got a player, so I'm kind of
I like it from their standpoint,
right? And so it's kind of like clouding my view on if I'm a Nationals fan or if I'm just completely outside. I'm like, man, I feel like I see that the Nationals have a plan, but it seems like they just set themselves back 2 years.
I mean, like you said, like they do got Wood, who looks like he's going to be a stud. Like he looks like he's going to be really good. So we'll see if he can kind of bail them out, and maybe one of these guys do it at all times. Yes, they. I mean. You've been high on the Nationals more than I have over the last couple of years. So I feel like you know their roster even a little better than I do and like kind of the depth of it. I mean, I watched a lot of their games, but it doesn't feel like they do have anybody to really protect him in that regard. Maybe Ramon, I don't know. They're just I don't know. It wasn't that wood. Did anybody see the MLB shredder put Duran and Rowan? Yeah, exactly. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I think he's good. I think Wood's gonna be. I think he's gonna be perfectly fine. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it's frustrating me when I see a franchise that was kind of on the verge of making a little playoff noise or being that wild card discussion. They kind of just feels like through the talent. Maybe that's not what it is, but it just kind of has that feel to it, I guess. So I don't know.
Now, I will say that the Nationals are 23rd in farm system. In 2025, they were ranked 13, so they've taken a huge step back. But they do have a prospect, Eli Willits, who's playing shortstop. So maybe they're just really high on him,
Get rid
and
of Abrams.
they want to get him. So
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I have confidence the Nationals might be right back in it with these young guys. I'm
yeah,
not saying that's not going to happen. I'm saying my issue is what after that.
yeah,
That's my issue really
yeah.
with
No,
them. You're completely right. It's like these guys could turn out to be studs. I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, 3 out of these 5 guys they got make an All-Star team.
yeah,
How many of these guys are they keeping after that? I don't know. So I think
yeah.
that's the part that I
Yeah,
get
with the
frustrated.
history of them letting go of Harper, Trey Turner, Soto, and all these other guys, yeah, it's not looking good.
What do you kind of make of it from the Rangers standpoint a little bit? Their pitching depth now goes up a little bit, goes up quite a bit, right? You
Yeah,
have
I mean,
DeGrom,
yeah,
Evaldi.
yeah, I mean, it's great. I think it's a smart move for them because Eovaldi and DeGrom are getting older, but I mean, they still have a lot left in the tank, and I don't know how. Do you know off the top of your head how much Mackenzie Gore has left on his contract before he's a free agent?
He's 26. So my guess is I'll have to look that up. What his actual numbers on that? My guess is he's got to have at least a few more years of control to be able to get that many prospects.
Yeah, let's see. He is a free agent in 2028. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
so a
they
couple
have
more
him
years.
locked up. Yeah, they have him locked up for 3 more years, and so um, I I like it for just if DeGrom gets injured, which is kind of likely to happen
Yeah,
unless he just stays under 97 miles an hour. Um, but I think it's a really good move for the Rangers. I wish they would go out and get an offensive player because they need offense more than anything right now.
I thought they got Brandon Nimmo. Is that?
That's not funny.
The silence said it all. The silence said it all. I know how you feel about that. Come on, need Seager to stay healthy for 162 games. That's
Yeah.
the key with them. But yeah, so we'll probably have the Rangers a little bit more as we kind of move on here because they made a little move at the pitching. But love the move from the Rangers standpoint. Nationals just continue to confuse me. Again, the recency bias in terms of hey, they're going to develop these young guys. They're going to make a lot of all-star teams. They might make a playoff push, make a couple playoff pushes, but then what's the next move after that? And they just seem to show a history of that. So I'm kind of curious how national fans would feel about this type of process as well. You're trading Juan Soto, now you're starting to trade the guys that you got in that trade as well. Another franchise that doesn't confuse me because they've done this for years, but they just continue to cry poverty. They had the best season in Major League Baseball last year. Got rid of Burns the year before. They got rid of Devin Williams the before that. Maybe they're thinking, hey, what's the difference if we get rid of Peralta now as well? The issue I have with the Brewers doing this is you literally did come off your best regular season in Major League Baseball this year.
And he wouldn't have gotten it without Peralta.
Yeah, he's a key part of it. I mean, a massive part of it. He's your ace. And somebody said, well, they got Miz coming up. And I'm like, the guy goes 4 1/3. You're lucky. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I get Peralta, that was the one thing that the A's did do when they were in the early 2000s and they would lose guys to free agency. I still like the idea that they just played out the whole contract. Just try to win that year. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Is it worth a couple? I guess so, but you just came off the best record. Now you're trading your ace, Logan. It kind of pisses me off. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't understand. I really thought there was no.
Yeah, you thought they did a great job, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Went to your Mets.
Yeah.
Ahead,
no, it's weird. I mean, they did get a haul for him, but I mean, they had Mizrowski, who, like you said, he started off really hot, and then he kind of had a little bit of trouble. Jose Quintana, I mean, he's kind of hit and miss. He got injured, I think. Quinn Priester, Brandon Woodruff, who came in tail end of the season. So Trevor McGill, who's kind of good. But I
mean, can we expect Woodruff to bounce back to where he was at a couple of years ago? That seems like high. I mean,
he's 33 years old now. So, I mean, I don't expect too much from him. But, yeah, I don't know. And they had that one guy come up after Mizrowski who they were really excited about. So maybe that's something. But, I mean, the Brewers, the thing about the Brewers is that, like, they build up so much goodwill. Like, they made me a fan last year.
Me too.
And
same thing.
And then they turn around and they get rid of key players like Freddie Peralta. And then what are you supposed to do? I mean, like, how am I don't know. I don't understand how you're supposed to create a bigger fan base and then gutting your whole team. I mean, got rid of Devin Williams, got rid of Freddie Peralta, got rid of
Hader a few years before that.
Hader. I mean, they get rid of some of these guys a year. I mean, the offseason after they go into the playoffs. And so it's weird. It's like they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything in the offseason. They didn't, and except for trading Freddie Peralta. And so now what is this now? So, I mean,
didn't they trade the other guy, Collins? They got some small thing back for him too, right? Isaac Collins or something like that. He was like in the, again, rookie discussion. They ended up trading him too. When you give up a guy like Peralta, you're asking your depth to go another level. And that's the thing when you trade these guys, especially if I'm a Brewers fan, it's like, man, like what if a guy gets hurt? You know, that's why you had these guys like Peralta that could carry those innings. And you're right. They do. I know they have a couple guys that are coming up, and McGill's good. I do like him, but Peralta was the ace of that staff, and it doesn't usually work out well when you give up your best pitcher or your best hitter. It usually doesn't turn out to be the right move. It plays out differently, I know, year to year, and we have seen that be the case. But I mean, the Brewers are asking for. I mean, I wouldn't say they got lucky last year, but like a lot of things had to go right for them as well.
Yeah.
And now you're asking, hey, let's give up one of our best players and let's ask for those things to go right well again. So I got to think Brewers fans would be a little frustrated with this.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. And
did you see the little video they did of them? I loved for their website after, their little X account, like thanking them, and they do the little tribute video. You're coming up as a rookie. And then I looked at the comments. It's like, thanks a lot, a-holes. You develop these guys like we're supposed to love them. You get rid of them. I was like, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, and from a business standpoint, why are you trading these guys? Why are you trading your top guys? And I mean, Devin Williams, I kind of understood because he wasn't really filling that hole as a closer, and he was a free agent. But,
yeah, I get that.
Freddie Peralta, I mean, he was solid, and even if you only have him for a year, I mean, you still have him for a year. And if the Brewers are bad at the deadline, trade them at the deadline.
And the Hader one was really weird too. That one was that was an odd one too when they did that.
Yeah.
That came across. From the Mets standpoint, when we talked about them having to get Valdez, and they end up. Well, I'm going to talk about Roberts during Diamond Notes, but they end up with Peralta. Logan, that's what they need. That's a great get for them, right? I mean, that's what we were saying they have to get. They have to get that depth. Can't just depend on Senga. They got so Peralta. I think is a great get for them, and if obviously they somehow end up with Valdez too, then I think you think differently about that offseason.
I mean, even that last week where they got Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, and Freddie Peralta in the span of 48 hours. They totally transformed their offseason. And they got Marcus Semien last month, which, I mean, that's kind of hit and miss, but still, it's a good offseason. It's asking a lot. Like, it's a lot of if Bo Bichette stays consistent, if Luis Robert comes back, and if Marcus Semien is not inconsistent. But there's a lot of things to be excited about. How do you feel about Sproat? I have no idea who Sproat is, so I don't feel anything about Sproat. Hold on.
He's the guy that they got in the trade with Peralta, right-handed pitcher. He threw a little bit last year as well. They got Jet Williams, who's a second base shortstop prospect, as well in there. The only thing I saw from him, when they showed the highlights of the trade, is he can't zoom it in there, Henry. He does have some, he's got good stuff. There's no doubt about that. I tend to question young guys where the Brewers are at, I guess, is my issue. Again, Aaron, is regardless of Sprouts, like this top prospect, can he go eat the innings that Peralta could eat? And you need those veteran guys on a team like this. So I'm just frustrated with the Nationals and Brewers a little bit this week in terms of some of the decisions they made. I get it, but I don't. And I think it's fair for me to say that. So that's where I'm at with them. With the Mets, I want to get into a little bit more when we get to Roberts as well. But obviously, great trade for even as it seems like a great trade with what they need right now, and they need a pitcher. So I was totally good with the move they ended up making on that side.
Do you feel like they need to get Framber or maybe even Zach Gallen?
For me, I'd feel better with like another guy that can eat innings. If it was Gallen, I'd be perfect. It doesn't have to be Valdez. Gallen, I would be perfectly fine with. I'd actually even be. That's where I would be. If I would be good with them,
you'd probably prefer Gallen, just because he's cheaper. And
I would, if I was the Mets, I would say I would prefer Valdez. I'd want him with that city, with Soto there. I like that idea with him with the Mets. I don't know. We'll see if they end up pulling that trigger. They spent a lot of money, but that's who I would still really. If they had Valdez and Peralta, that would change how I thought about them going into the season for sure.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be like the Mets made all these crazy signings. They're like, all right, they actually got some ballers here, like some like proven veteran guys that can throw and eat up a lot of innings. So I would feel a lot differently about them if they ended up with them. Aaron, not sure what you would think about the Mets with that type of addition on that side of it. Bellinger does re-sign as well with the Yankees, a 5-year contract that ended up not playing out as long as we thought it would. So Tucker gets the record deal there with the Dodgers. Definitely a lot cheaper, obviously, and Bellinger, but a lot of money still regardless. 5 years, 162. I'd be curious how many teams would have actually paid him that much money. Got to be a list of 3 or 4. I'd be shocked if it was a list of more than 5 teams that would have paid him that contract, but maybe I'm wrong on that side of it. Those are his stats down there. What's next for him, though, on top of this Bellinger? I guess let's kind of check that box off. Seemed like the move that if you're looking at a 1-2 year run, seemed like the right move for the Yankees. We'll see if the 5-year deal comes out to bite him a little bit, but I think initially this seemed like the right spot for him.
Yeah, with that short porch, I mean, I think that's a perfect spot. He grew up a Yankees fan. He wants to be a Yankee.
Do you have Aaron Judge? You have Aaron Judge on your front of you.
Yeah, you have protection with Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge kind of has protection with Bellinger, so it's a good fit. I think, honestly, if Scott Boras wasn't around, this would have not lasted a month. Like, this contract would have been resolved so much sooner. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of interesting, like the way it played out, though, because Scott Boras was like, oh, he's gonna get $400 million, and he wants 9 years, 10 years, or whatever. And the Yankees kind of put their foot down and said, we're not going over 162 for 5 years. This is our final offer, take it or leave it. And Bellinger was like, yeah, I want that. I don't care. I want the money. I want to be with the Yankees. So it's kind of funny. So
yeah. It's. I think it's just it's the right spot for him. I think that's where he needs to be. I guess what's next for him though? Like, do you think they need? I still feel like we've talked about Suarez. You've brought that up a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Where do you feel like the next? Are you good with the Yankees right now? If this was the team they went in with,
if they got Eugenio Suarez, I would feel a lot better. I feel like maybe Zach Gallen would be good just to kind of round out that rotation. But I mean, they have Will Warren, who they're still really excited about. Yeah. Luis Gil, who is a really solid. Went through Tommy John surgery, so I mean, he's expected to be back at the beginning of the season, but I think there's a little bit of questions there. But I think Eugenio Suarez could be a good right-handed presence in that lineup and really solidify that infield. So that way Ryan McMahon can go move to first base if they need it. Ben
Yeah.
Rice can be a catcher where he should be. So that way Austin Wells can ride bench. Second base is kind of Jazz's, and then they kind of need a shortstop. And I think for the shortstop, I think they really should go out and get Ozzie Albies. Ozzie Albies, I know he's a second baseman, but I think he can move over to shortstop, or maybe even have Jazz move over to shortstop. I know everybody likes Jazz at second, and I know he's a lot more comfortable at second, but I really think that Anthony Volpe is the worst person to ever. I mean, I think he's last in all shortstops. And so,
do you think he could have any bounce back year though? Volpe, like, I don't know, like, I mean, like, do you think
never had a good year to bounce back from? I
don't know. I just think his first year, like, he had moments of like he showed signs of like he could be a player, but then he just I agree, he fell off the map.
Yeah.
And turned up. I feel like I don't know, he was top 10 rookie of the year. He won a Gold Glove in 2023. So I mean, like, he can't do any of that now. So maybe not in terms of breaking any milestones with hitting or anything, but what the first year he's gets 600 plate appearances, 21 home runs, 60 RBIs, and again a Gold Glove as a shortstop. And then, same WAR the next year, actually just a little bit better, actually, his second year. Then you get to last year, and he's at a 1.6 WAR. So just kind of really fell off last year. We'll see if he can kind of get back to where his first two seasons were, at least in terms of not being unplayable. That's what I guess I'm trying to get some maybe more to say is, can he not be unplayable? So, all right, so we're thinking, hey, get a little Suarez there for the Yankees with Bellinger. Now you're kind of starting to take them a little bit more serious as you kind of head into next season, right? That's kind of how you're looking at it.
Yeah, and they haven't had a good third baseman since A-Rod. Gio Urshela was kind of their guy for a minute, but he fell off really quick. And shortstop, they haven't really found a replacement either. So, I mean, Didi was really good. So, but yeah, they really need to solidify. And yeah, you probably prefer defense, but honestly, there's not really a lot of good defenders. I think Ozzie Albies would be a good defender at shortstop if he played. But
if your name's Ozzie, do you have to play shortstop? Is that the rule? As I don't think Ozzie Canseco was a shortstop. I don't remember that being the case.
You know what? I never want him to play shortstop again.
Because of that, it's like gives you nightmares.
Yeah.
All right. When we do whenever I do my previews of these divisions, it's going to be curious where the AL East is at the end of this, where they all sit, because the Orioles made some good moves this offseason. Red Sox made some good moves as well. Yankees re-signed Bellinger. See if they make a kind of a late splash here. There's still a handful of guys out there that would get our attention with a signing, no doubt about it. The other thing that came up this week was obviously was the MLB Hall of Fame, and Carlos Beltran. He gets in. A lot of people remember him from this record postseason he had with the Astros in that one year. Obviously the big part of that, even though the Cardinals ended up making it to the World Series that year. Switch hitter, started out with the Royals, right? Ended up with goes to Houston, was with the Giants for a little bit as well, then with the Mets too. So he makes the Hall of Fame, and then obviously one of the greatest defensive center fielders of all time, Andrew Jones, makes the Hall of Fame as well. So you get two center fielders in the Hall of Fame, which feels like it's been a while since that. They'll join Jeff Kent, who got in with the Veterans Committee. You've always kind of felt like Andrew Jones probably shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I feel like that's the last conversation we had with him. And if I remember correctly, you said it was kind of based on his last half of his career. Yeah. Aaron Jones is a Hall of Famer, really good, just like Beltran, just not Hall of Famers. The Jones one, you could. That's a weird one for me because I feel like this is like my era. Like this is me growing up watching baseball. These two guys, and so again, I think this. I don't want to get into this dance with it in terms of the whole. Well, if this guy would have made the Hall of Fame, these guys wouldn't. I agree. If we did that, but it is what it is now. I kind of agree with Aaron in that spot. Like they were close, but are they? I guess if I felt better about one, I would probably say I feel a little better about Andrew Jones, only from the sense of how unreal he was defensively. That would be I would feel a little better about that in terms of that regard, in terms of being a Hall of Famer. But then then it's hard for me. Can I convince myself? I go, well, Beltran's by far the better hitter I'd rather have, and he's a switch hitter. So I think that's where it's like they feel like they're just on the outsides for me a little bit. But then, Aaron, to be fair, the guys like from the 90s and late 80s that got in that I felt the same way about were like Fred McGriff, Harold Baines, and they ended up in. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on these two guys? I went on a little rant there.
Yeah, I kind of have a little something. Carlos Beltran, I was kind of shocked by that only because I thought the cheating scandal would kind of plague him a little bit longer.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I thought maybe 2028, 2030 was going to be his year. But I kind of agree. I kind of think that he should be in the Hall of Fame. One of the best switch hitting hitters of all time. 2,700 hits, 435 home runs, 1,500 RBIs, career 350 on base percentage, 486 slugging, 837 OPS, 119 OPS plus. But
Jones was an elite defender, so where does that count though?
So Jones
and center field.
Yeah. So Jones, I've always said I always thought he played himself out of the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
he just lingered way too long. And his overall stats really just do not do anything for me. He is the first hitter. This is something I saw. The first player since 1975 to be elected into the Hall of Fame with less than 2,000 hits. Which it's something that I don't necessarily think about, but I think whenever you hit 3,000 hits, I think you're an automatic Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I think if you have 2,000 hits, it's questionable. You have to look at the other stats, but I think you have to pass a certain threshold in order to get into the Hall of Fame. And it's just, to me, I missed the Andrew Jones train. Like whenever I was growing up, when I was growing up, he was kind of on the tail end and he was just not great. Yeah. And so I understand I'm not really coming at it from like, oh, I've seen him so many times, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. And yes, I am gonna if Andrew Jones gets in, then this person should get in and this person should get in. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that there's a legitimate reason why he should not be in the Hall of Fame. And for him to get in there, it's like, what are we even doing? And this is kind of a thing for me is like, so there are different organizations that vote for the Hall of Fame. It's important for different organizations, the writers, the players, and all this, like, what are they looking at? Why is there such a divide? Like, oh, this guy doesn't qualify for the players, but he qualifies for the writers. What? Well, why? Like,
yeah.
And so the inconsistency in having 5 different voting or 3 different voting organizations to vote into the Hall of Fame is kind of ridiculous to me. So I mean, I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep every night or
I get you.
Avoid the Hall of Fame, but I'm just like, it feels like whenever you bring in someone like Andrew Jones and even Carlos Beltran to an extent, it just kind of delegitimizes. Oh, he's in the same club as Babe Ruth. Oh, he's in the same club as Ted Williams, Yogi Berra, Stan Musial.
That's kind of why I brought up the guys, though. I did to you. That's why I brought up Harold Baines. That's why I brought up Fred McGriff.
Yeah,
because They kind of, I mean, I think McGriff is maybe a little bit better than those, but you get my point. Those were guys that people had problems with when they got in.
Yeah.
And those were 90s players, 80s players.
Yeah.
And so,
it's
like,
because these guys are nice guys or something. And then, these writers and baseball players like turn around and then they're like, oh, well, Kurt Schilling shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because he's an a-hole. Or, Barry Bonds shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because he's an a-hole. And it's like, Carlos Beltran was caught cheating and you let him in. So
that one to me doesn't make sense. You're right. That one doesn't make sense.
And so, like, oh, we don't let cheaters in, but we let Carlos Beltran in, who won a World Series because of it, because of his cheating. And so the standards are so, it just gets infuriating because it totally like
it's wishy-washy.
it legitimizes the anger that's toward the writers and the players who are because they won't let Barry Bonds in. They won't let Mark McGwire in. They won't. And here's another thing I saw. I was looking at the other votes. Ryan Braun got 15 votes, 3.5% of the voting in his first year eligible. Barry Bonds got less than 5 votes less than a month ago. And Ryan Braun got caught twice with PEDs in his career. And he still got 15 votes.
Like I said, you're right. You are right. Honestly, that is super frustrating. Those are actually good facts you just brought to the table. I didn't even know about that one with Braun, and I think it probably goes to recency bias. And like the writer's not as bitter, I guess, would be the way. Like they're more aware of steroids. I don't know. You're right.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like we still have A-Rod in jail, and we still have Barry Bonds in jail because they were assholes. Yeah. And you're letting. I mean, Ryan Braun gets 15 votes now. What about in 2 years whenever he gets 30 votes? I mean,
well, and to Aaron's point here, what he bring up here in the comments, how do you feel about he didn't make it, but he even got like 10th, I think, in voting this year, and he got caught with it. Right, you're right. There is no consistency.
Yeah,
and why? He's one of the best hitters I've ever seen, and he's not. I think I had him in my top 10 hitters or whatever I did with him that I ever saw.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I think that's what infuriates baseball fans. Is like we can agree with like, okay, your region, you saw this player, Josh Edwards would vote Ozzie Smith over anybody. We get all that. Like we get people love certain people, but there's also an eye test, and if you can't be realistic about it, you can't. I do want to, just so I don't lose track of this, I did want to bring up one thing on Andrew Jones or is it Andrew Jones, I should say, that just because you said you didn't see him all the time, like he does have the third best WAR as a defensive outfielder of all time. Right. So I'm just saying, like, it's not like he's just some guy playing defense. I mean, he was obviously made spectacular plays, but he was also one of the best we've seen in the last 40 years. So, and he's playing a premium position. And as you know, Atlanta has a huge outfield. It's not the small outfield that he had to play. He played on great teams. And yes, the one thing that he struck out a ton. Big issue there. Massive issue there. But he also did somehow end up with 434 home runs in a good season. So like McGriff, I think was 490 or 476, somewhere between then. So he's 30 behind Fred McGriff, but then he's just as an elite defender as you could ever have, and he's played center field. So I think he's grateful. He's one of the guys that really benefit from those guys like Ramirez, from A-Rod, from Bonds not getting in, McGwire, Sosa. He's the guy that's benefiting from that because now the defense plays more of a factor. Though he was a great all-time player, same with Beltran. That's how I look at these two guys getting on. Is they're a benefit. We saw the long-term game is now played out basically over 20 years. And now you're starting to get some of these guys from that late steroid era getting in because you didn't get these other guys in.
Yeah.
And now they're falling off the ballot.
Yeah, it's just disappointing. Like, I get there are reservations, but I mean, Carlos Beltran is probably caught in the biggest scandal since the steroid era, and
I agree.
I think and he was the leader of it. I mean, he was the
guy,
person who brought it. Yeah, and so it's kind of ridiculous. And
I don't want to hear anything more. Like if something happens where it's like, whatever, like let's just some players like using pine tar on a thing. I don't want to hear that this guy's not in the Hall of Fame now because of that. This crap. Ramirez not getting in. It's ridiculous, Aaron. Like I think that's my stance on all this. Like these guys that were Hall of Famers when they played should be in the Hall of Fame. That's just
even if they're not likable. I mean, there are a lot of players who are not likable and
steroids, all of it. I don't know. I don't judge it. I just my eye test tells me the only guy that ever did steroids where I was always like, I don't know, because he just had such a career job with Sammy Sosa, but he also had like those unreal 33s where he was all jacked up or something like that. And Jose Canseco maybe the same page. Just real quick, 2027. It looks like Buster will probably be the guy that making it from that list as well. The guys that kind of came off, I think John Lester is available too to make it. I don't think he will get in. That would be a controversial first time ballot winner if he got in, but. Utley, he made a little push. I still think Felix Hernandez will have his day. I think he will get in at some point as well. And the other guy for me I think a lot of people would say he's on the Hall of Very Good. And so I would be shocked if he ever made the Hall of Fame, but he was just below it is Andy Pettitte to me. Like he's right there. But I wouldn't hate it. He kind of feels like a Beltran of a starting pitcher for me getting in. If Andy Pettitte got it. So I wouldn't have a huge problem with it because in the playoffs he delivered. He had all the rings. Andy Pettitte. So I would be, and I think Utley felt like one when I watched him, but maybe that just wasn't.
Yeah, it's weird that I kind of think that Utley doesn't get in or remembered as fondly because of the Mets player that he broke his leg at.
Tejada.
Yeah. And so I kind of think that was.
Watch 1970s. Watch 1980s. Yeah, I was like, my gosh, I don't know. And that one to me is, Aaron would be giving your Mets some love. Man up, New York.
Yeah,
man up a little bit that.
It's kind of weird because it didn't look like it was that bad of a break at first, and it's like, oh yeah, he's totally crippled now.
He would have won the World Series for the Mets. Come on,
he would have. Obviously,
he would have had it on there. So, anyways. I think Jones also just for him put a bow on him. I think he has the best defensive WAR of all time for all you nerds out there that like that kind of stuff. So they get in. It is what it is. Again, still great players at the end of the day. I mean, this isn't like Alan Craig getting into the Hall of Fame or something like that. So it's like we have we have
no hatred for Craig.
Walt Weiss getting into the Hall of Fame. So I mean, we have some things there with it. So all right. You want to do your best shortstop you ever seen? You got that, or do you want to do that next week?
No, I don't.
All right, let's do it next week.
Because I was reworking that thing.
It's probably good timing. It's probably good timing based on our show length, anyway. So far, all right. We'll get into Diamond Notes here. All right, so Diamond Notes here at that. The A's signed Mr. Wilson to a 7-year deal, kind of going with the Braves theory back in the days. David Robertson retires, won a World Series with the Yankees in 2009. Nasty slider, one of the best in the business in his prime. Bader, the Giants, Mr. Harrison Bader, what a huge 2-year deal with them. They get him on. He'll be in right field. And then the Mets obviously get Luis Roberts. Start with the Mets as I ended it. I mean, that's a good get. We talked about the pitching side of it, but we didn't even really address Luis Roberts. In the matter of a week, they really made 2 big deals, I thought.
Yeah. 3 because of Bo Bichette.
Oh, Bo Bichette too, yeah. And we talked about him, but that after we got off the air, those 2 things happened too. It was like, wow, I love the Roberts move.
Yeah.
I love the idea of them having Roberts.
Yeah. I like it too. But like I told you, I mean, he had a really bad year last year. And he's kind of been downhill since 23. And so I like the idea of him bouncing back. I love it. Yeah, I do too, but it's kind of one of those things. It's like you are like basing your entire season on a lot of ifs. And when you do that, it's not necessarily a good thing. And so, like, if Luis Robert has a bounce back year, if Bo Bichette stays consistent, if Marcus Semien stays consistent, it's a lot of you're basing on a lot of ifs, and if it could crumble as quickly as it came together. So,
you're right. You're right.
But I want it to work out. I think on paper this looks like a really good team, and I think Luis Robert, I would believe that he could come back, especially if he was with Juan Soto as kind of a barrier, putting him between Lindor and Soto. I think that would be really good for them.
I think the one thing I would push back on you on if I was a Mets fan is I would say, okay, you are right. Those ifs can be possible, but now you have Lindor, Soto, and Bichette, which what I would call professional hitters.
Yeah.
Obviously Soto might be the best professional hitter in Major League Baseball. Lindor has proven he's kind of now consistently on a run now with New York. Bo Bichette, the health is what it is, but I would say he's a professional hitter. And now you add a guy like Simeon, who also can get kind of hot and cold, and he's a professional. And then you have a guy like Rivera, where you're asking him to hit with guys on base. And you would think he would be better in that situation than he was with Chicago, right? Where he didn't necessarily have, and that's where I guess where if I'm a Mets fan, I'm like, or even if I'm a baseball fan in general, I go, this kind of is a big year for him. And if he wants a big contract, this is a big year for him. So that's kind of where I look like they're getting him where they need him to perform, not just for the team, but actually for himself. And to me, that's the best spot to be in as a franchise, is you're getting a guy that if he wants to get paid, he better have a year.
Right. Yeah. And that's a good point. And I think also, I mean, there is a big difference between the White Sox and the Mets, right? And so team-wise. And so, yeah, maybe he finally gets reinvigorated and he's like, okay, I'm on a solid team now. I'm with Juan Soto, probably the top three best players in the game right now. Yeah. Lindor, who's been a runner-up in MVP the last 2 years. I mean, yeah, I think if I'm Luis Robert, I'd be like, listen, at least I'm out of Chicago. So, and so I think that's a very valid thing. And so I'm excited in that aspect. I get worried in the sense of like, it also feels like a very Mets move and hasn't really worked out for them the last couple of years.
I guess it would feel like a Mets move to me if this was supposed to be one of their main guys. I think that's where I like if this was supposed to be the big pickup and I don't think it was. It was like a minor one. So that's where for me it's like, all right, I'm kind of in on this one more than I think I would be on other ones. What do you think of the A's real quick? They have a little core going here, with some hitters as they went into 2028 with Vegas. They still need pitching at the highest of levels. It's so bad, the starting pitching. But the offense, it looks like they have a team. We'll see what they do with Kurtz contract-wise moving forward, but they obviously still have him under control for the next 5 years. So him, they got Wilson, they got Butler wrapped up, they got Rooker, Soderstrom. That's a solid 5 as any franchise you'd want locked up, right?
Yeah, I mean, locking them up and, making them happy, keeping them happy, and that's a very good thing. I appreciate that. I would be, if I'm an A's fan, as I assume you are still, I'd be ecstatic about it, and I would be
still pissed at Fisher. Always A's fans, because there's some Oakland fans I never read. I still like the laundry. Let's just put it that way. I still like the laundry.
Yeah, and so I think whenever you're going into 2028, which is their year that they're gonna really debut, I'd be excited about this, and I'm like, okay, they are planning for the future, and they're locking up these key guys who are doing really well offensively. So,
and Wilson has batting champ written all over him at some point.
Yeah,
maybe not every year, but like he kind of has that Luis Ariz approach, right? Like he swings early, he puts the ball in play, he has kind of an inside out swing. I'm not saying he'll win it every year. But there's a year I can see him winning it once or twice. And he's perfect to go with a guy like Kurtz. His dad was one of the best defensive shortstops. He grew up having him as his coach. You know what I mean? So like you're getting a good spot with them. And the one guy for me that'll be interesting what they do next with is Shea Langeliers. So he moves into it because if he has another 30 home run season, then we're looking at just 2 back-to-back great catcher years. Not Cal, but I mean not everybody's Cal, but this is he's definitely one of the best players in. I would say going into next year, he's definitely one of the top 10 catchers by far.
Oh top
maybe top 5.
I would say.
So, we didn't even talk about him in that group as well. Geloff at second base. We'll see if he can bounce back. They got McNeil, but get my point. Like, they have some young guys on their team there. I'm highly concerned about the starting pitching so that's going to be their next move. Where do they develop these guys as they get into the new stadium in 2028? Where's the pitchers to go with the offense, right? Like, so that's where it's going to be with it. So they do that as well. Little quick shout out to Robertson, one of those guys I always say my kids will never know, but great baseball player, great reliever. I mean, as nasty as sliders you would ever want, especially if you were playing a video game with him. If you were playing, that slider was nasty. That thing broke as good as any other right-handed slider as you could have. So shout out to him as well. And then, like I said, Bader to the Giants there. They're moving Lee to right. So what do you think of Robertson and then your boy Bader to the Giants?
Yeah, Robertson, I mean, big Yankee. I mean, it was a shame that they let him go, but he was really good, and he's been really good with the couple of teams he's been playing the last couple of years.
Yeah. He was a Met too, right?
Yeah, he played for the Mets.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of one of those sneaky good relievers that you don't need to spend $180 million on. I mean, he was really good. He probably was owed a lot of money, but he was really good and sneaky at that. Harrison Bader to the Giants. Okay.
It's like Tyler was like, "Oh God!" He's like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like basically like that's our move. Like that's the guy that's supposed to take us over the top and take us to the next level. I just wanted to see so 179 saves. Robertson ended up with a 2.93 ERA. I would say that's a pretty solid career there. And his best year was 2011. His only year as an All-Star. 11th in the Cy Young as a relief pitcher, so nothing. Or in the MVP voting, he finished 22nd MVP voting, 11th in Cy Young. So if you're a closer and you're somewhere in that talk, obviously you've done something right during your career on that side. So diamond notes there in the books on that side of it. Logan did get Placido Polanco last time. It's trivia time. Here we go. All right, so Logan Stone, we're getting you back at it. I feel like I don't want to give anything. If you get it right, you get it right. But here we go. So we'll go MLB trivia on the dial here. Hint number 1 for Mr. Logan Stone. I played for 15 seasons from 2009 to 2023, amassing almost 1,700 hits, 129 homers, 720 RBIs. I hit 298, and I started my career in Cleveland.
Jason Kipnis.
It's a really solid guess. It is not Jason Kipnis in that year. Very solid guess.
Okay.
Want hit number 2? All right, hit number 2. I was a 5-time All-Star, finishing 3rd in AL MVP voting in 2014 behind Mike Trout and Victor Martinez. That was, 2014.
Indian.
Right in 2014, just for my mind here. Get that on there for the people watching on the YouTube channel here. So again, hit number 1, just to get people set here with it. I played for 15 seasons from 2009 to 2023, 1,700 hits, 130 homers, basically 170 20 RBIs, and close to 300 batting average. So kind of very similar to our guy last week, Placido Polanco's stats. He was a 5-time All-Star, this guy, and he finished 3rd in AL MVP voting in 2014 behind Mike Trout and that Detroit Tigers, Victor Martinez / Indian back in the day. And he batted left-handed, Logan. Any thoughts here?
Yeah. Oh, the Indians always get me.
I mean, he played with Kipnis. There's no doubt. I mean, obviously the years tell you where it is. I think the last clue might put you over the top, but
okay.
You want to try it out?
Yeah, let's try.
It's more of a recent one. I lost both World Series I played in with the Astros.
Michael Brantley.
That boy. He got it. Michael Brantley is on the list.
I was still stuck on the infield.
Because they're kind of infield stats in a sense.
Yeah.
He wasn't like necessarily a power hitter.
Yeah.
Right. He was actually he was a solid hitter. I think, man, you would obviously you're getting close to 300. You're a solid hitter, but I think from 2000, like he had back-to-back 45 double seasons. You know what I mean? Like that's 30. He led the league. So solid player.
Yeah.
Solid. Now, if he makes the Hall of Fame, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, but he was. Who would you rather have, him or Placido Polanco?
Oh man, I think I would take Brantley just because he was a contact hitter. So
Polanco was too, though.
yeah, but Polanco he tailed off. It seemed like Brantley was a lot more consistent. I mean, until 22, 21, maybe he was a little bit off.
And I think I would lead your way too. I just think it's funny because he had like literally only like 25 more home runs than Polanco. Like he had like 20 more RBIs, and I think he batted 1 point better, like average. Like he was. So it's kind of funny how you look at these guys, but I think Brantley would be the guy I would probably lead towards as well. Two of that. So well done. Took you a little while. Those Indians. Now you got to know that. Those native Americans throw you off. I got to get that with it. So we'll do that with it. All right, MLB flashback. Here we go. All right, here with the flashback video of the week. Barry Bonds up to bat, and no, it's not a home run that takes place here, but is this one of the worst plays in Major League Baseball? A lot of people might tell you, yes, it is. They're playing the great Montreal Expos. So we're going way back. Here we go. Sorry, wrong button. Here we go.
Loaded, one out. Here's the pitch. Bonds swings and hits a pop-up out in front of the plate. Out goes the catcher Barrett. They end up letting the ball drop, but Nathan Perez better just cross the plate. He's standing away from the plate, and he tags the plate, and he scores! The Expos did not know the rule. Now Aurelia goes to second base, and over to third goes Grissom. I don't think anybody in the field knew the rule. The infield fly rule was in effect. Bonds was immediately out. The ball dropped in front of the plate, and Frank Robinson comes out of the dugout and does not say a word to the umpire, walks over to his players gathered around home plate, and apparently told them, stop arguing and learn the rules. They picked up that ball, and they stepped on home plate. Nathan Perez had come down the line himself, apparently not knowing the rule, and he stopped. And fortunately, he was 10 feet away. The Expos thought they already had him out. Fortunately, he then proceeded on unopposed and tagged home plate, at which point the plate umpire, Joyce, called him safe, and that's how the Giants tie this game. With the bases loaded and one out, when Bonds...
I didn't see the home plate umpire make the
infield
fly.
Hit the pop-up.
Yeah, he made it.
The fly rule was called,
right there.
And Bonds was immediately out.
The third baseman made it.
The runners move up at their own risk.
It's great to have John Miller on the call explaining that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain guys that it can like, I love how Frank Robinson goes out there like Grandpa. You idiots, you didn't know the rule, you dummy, get up, man.
How angry do you think he was during that whole time? Because he's like, I'm the greatest third baseman of all time. And you guys don't know the rules of baseball.
He's probably flipping out over there. I just love that video because just his reaction alone is one of the best things I love about that. Know the rules, people. Know the rules. That happened actually earlier this year with the Giants too. But it's just a funny video there. With honestly, I think there's a lot of guys that would not know that rule though. If that happened today, not very many
infield fly rule, or just
that you had to tag them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that a lot of would, but I could see that happening again if it worked out that perfectly, where the ball, your star hitter that you think's going to hit a home run, pops up a massive one to the catcher and it hits the ground because you thought somebody was going to catch it. It
was funny because I thought they dropped it on purpose.
Yeah,
and then then they didn't do it. I was like, oh, okay,
sneak attack. He touches home base.
It's weird. You don't. I guess in the moment you really don't think too deep into it, the infield fly roll, but happen to think that it's basically a fly out.
Yeah,
but it's kind of weird.
All right, Mr. Stone, good show today as well. Hit on a lot of stuff there. appreciate you joining me on a Saturday. Appreciate it. We got to talk some baseball with it along the way too. So we'll get into it next week, hopefully as well. I do want to get our best shortstops. I have my list. I just don't have it on here on the banner, so I want to get that up there with it. I was thinking about that a little bit last week. So best shortstop we've ever seen. We'll kind of hit on that a little bit next week as well. Any teams right now as you're going into next week? What's the biggest thing? Is it Valdez for us still? Is that the next domino to drop?
Or I think Valdez and Suarez, yeah.
Yeah. Where does that drop? We'll see if we kind of are those the ones that go into March. We'll find out because Logan, next week, it's February. It is February, sir. Pitchers and catchers are right around the quarter here. We're gonna have some spring training baseball, and then I think we're both excited about the World Baseball Classic. So we'll have that. We'll have that going as well too here in about a month. So a lot of good baseball happening coming up soon here. So we'll see you guys next week. For Logan Stone, I am Darren Breyer. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.